Hello guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be covering Solana, we're going to talk about Ethereum, and we're going to be looking at Bitcoin and kind of going back of what we were talking about the other day, that reversal. And is it going to continue to drop? So that's the big question. Will the crypto continue to drop further on down? Are we still in the bull market? Right? So if you haven't already subscribed, drop a comment and click that bell while you're down there checking things out. All right. So Solana today, starting off here on the daily, which we always start on the daily, is trading at $19.25. Now, previous videos that we covered Solana, which has been quite some time, we were talking about the trend lines and how it actually broke through, and here it actually did not confirm and it fell. All right. So what we're looking at here, and again, we're talking about we had this previous area that we could have called really support, not very strong, but it was still there. And we have a new acting place of support as well, but also not quite so strong. So what do we have? Right, so we're talking about Solana. It looks like it's going to continue to dip even further down the line. Oh, one moment. It's continuing to drop down more and more. It's not, it's riding along this line, which is rather, as we're watching it decline and it's staying right against the trend line, that is a good thing, as in we can expect it to go up or to completely reverse down. Now, we had that moment with, if you pay attention, the action, the volume on 24-hour volume discovery, the daily volumes that are coming up for Solana is not good. It's very slow now. Why I say it's not good is because we're moving in, we're reaching in, we knock, knock, and knock on the resistance level. But here we're facing a chance for it to actually further go down. Now, when we're talking about like why this isn't important, because when we come back to what it was in November, right, they reached that area again. And that is following that major market move. Why we've reached back here moving down. Now, what's that next major market move? Well, 16 bucks right before when it came up. You have to count these as well, even in the positive points. So if you're going long right now, I would be very, very cautious because we don't have anything that's really going to signify what it's well, if it's going to actually start to pump up. So it looks like it's still getting that pressure put inside. So and that's a bit of a problem because we don't see any kind of buying momentum. We're just seeing selling momentum coming in. So it's just getting liquidated for what we do have. As far as Ethereum goes, now Ethereum is, we talked about it, we're talking about how it's going to, yeah, it can either go up or go down. We're talking about it with Bitcoin as well, which we're going to cover, is also in that moment. Now, I believe when we covered that, it was like last week on the daily chart, and we were talking about how it can move down. Well, it dropped down and it came up, and of course, some buying. It moved to the point to where it can still go down, even if because we kind of somewhat, I hate to really call this a trend line, but we do have one. Technically speaking, right? So technically, we do have a trend line moving in, but not quite strong. Now, of course, a big moment would be if we can get a candle close to here and it could break out and we can kind of actually verify this above it broke the trend line. We do want to see that. Now, if we, for example, show a line of support, which we have, it would be a good moment to pay attention if we get to this apex. But the problem is that it actually in this area is not so great to count that. This apex here is a moment where it can actually start to pump if it comes up above that, but we're not. We're actually falling quite short. Now, there are 16 hours above that, but for example, if the selling pressure comes in and starts getting pushed and it loses more and more and more, we're going to see a lot of stop losses pushing this down, down, and down in which you can kind of reach back down around 1600. I mean, 1800 bucks is not so great, but it can do that. Now, for example, the other way it would turn if we reached over here and this candle confirmed, we had two candles, just what 2 days ago, if that candle had confirmed above the trend line, then I would say that okay, we have some positive moments coming in and just reaching it right around 2000 1990 to 2000 kind of resistance to stop that, to slow that down, but that's not quite there. So here we are. We're in a moment that we need to pay attention to the next at least two or three candles, the next daily candles, to see Are we going to get closer in the side of this apex, and where that's going to close at to kind of keep our bias pretty open, because the volume's also down. It spiked due to the selling. Of course, it was a selling volume day, right? But not really buying. The last volume bought was also on Friday the 5th of May. So also not so good. Bitcoin is also showing that drop down at 26,000. I think we're going to touch at least 24 again, 23. If it continues the way it's acting, we spoke about it. Now we kind of have a, again, I just don't like calling these too much of a trade. It's because it's not enough to work with if you're going conservative. I am a conservative kind of trader. So this is what we have though. The same thing coming in. But the issue here is that we're also down below the support. And that's a moment where it looks like it will continue to go down, especially depending on how these next 16 hours play out, where it's going to close. The same thing with like Ethereum, except it's just not showing um, the bullish behavior as Ethereum's doing, because it's showing more of bearish. So if it closes down, I would expect it to continue to fall at least until around 2,400 bucks, or pretty close to it, between 24 or mid 25. So this is going to be the moment too. We need to see it come in, but we're also in that moment. It's just not so strong. Even if it does pump and break above that, I don't expect it to jump too much above 27 and a half or 28. I just don't see it coming in unless we have a lot of buying coming in. People are panic buying. But uh, 28 and a half, you're going to hit that resistance too. Stop losses are also going to go for the people who are short, so you're going to have some resistance coming in. The market as a whole today is doing pretty good. Looking at the market cap for the day, Ethereum is 1.8%, BTC is 1.3, XRP is 2.4, Matic is 2 and 3, which is doing pretty well. AVAX is down, Solana is down by 0.3%, and we have Litecoin at 3.8 as well. Near is also kind of barely breaking our percentage. But overall, the daily is doing quite well. And if we look at the weekly, Ethereum's up by 0.5%. Bitcoin is down 1.6. XRP is 0.8. We have Matic is up by 2.8. Tron is by zero point 0.6. Solana is down by 5.7, but TRX is also killing it weekly at 9.7, doing pretty well. And Hex fell around 46%. So uh, quite the crash for it. All right, guys, that's all we have for today. Subscribe, drop a comment, and let us know, what do you think? Are we going back into a bear market?